buzzbait bass right there up that into that tree. There we go. That's a little buzzbait bass, folks, right there here at Alamo Lake. Boy, he ate it. Ah, look at that. He's just a tiny guy. Maybe we'll get some bigger ones. We're up here in the trees. We're at Alamo Lake, first thing in the morning. Beautiful morning. It's supposed to get really hot and breezy today, but we thought, man, we'll get out. There's nothing more fun than getting out and throwing some topwater. And I'll tell you what, Alamo is notorious for fun topwater. With frogging, with anything that you got topwater wise, it's a lot of fun. But I wanted to cover a little bit of water today because we haven't been here, and I just want to cover some of these trees, some of this wooded area, and see if we can get them to bust. Now, here's the deal. I'm throwing a buzzbait because there's a little bit of a shad spawn going on in certain areas. And with that happening, it surfaces, they surface, the shad will surface and the bass bust them. And man, when they're doing that, you can't hardly beat a buzzbait. Now, this is made by Persuader. It's a double buzz. And I'll tell you what a blast that bait is to throw. I've got that little grub on there so I get a long, good cast. But man, we're gonna see what we can't do, catch some of these fish. I'm throwing this on 65-pound test braid on my Buzzbait, Taipan Buzzbait rod. And I'll tell you what, this rod is phenomenal. I love this rod. It's perfect for the buzzbait. You can see the tip on it. It allows them to inhale the bait just a little bit and turn as I'm setting the hook. So man, a lot of times with a buzzbait, it's real easy to get overzealous on setting the hook. So you have to let them turn a little bit before you go setting the hook on these fish, otherwise you'll miss a lot. So be ready for that. But man, what a fun time you can have with this. You can get it up in the channels. The thing I'm gonna do with this is find areas I can fish this, just some areas that I can throw in there back deep in the woods and try to get some of these fish. Now, in saying that, what I love about the buzzbait versus something, say, with treble hooks or a spook or anything like that, is I can throw this over the wood and pretty much it's weedless. So I can throw it out there, bring it in over top of the logs, things like that, and I can get it back. So that's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna try to see if we can catch a few fish here. Maybe we'll have a big one blow up. There's some big fish in this lake. We just gotta get one to blow up on it. And if this don't work, I'm gonna throw this for a while. If this don't work, we may have to change, see what these fish are doing. We are dealing with a full moon. And with a full moon, it changes things a bit. They feed a lot at night, especially during the summer part. So, I mean, man, these fish should be ready to go. We're in that post-spawn. We'll probably catch some post-spawn fish. I'm gonna try to throw it right in the lanes. You wanna try to get it right in the lanes. But even if I make a bad cast, I can bring it over the wood, just like so. See, it's coming over, boom. And I can still reel it. That's what I love about the buzzbait. Got him, right there. I had to slow it down a little bit, but I got him. He came up and nailed that thing. Get in here, get in here. That bass just came up and whacked that bait right there when I slowed it down. Sometimes you gotta variate that retrieve a little bit and you can catch those fish. I was kind of reeling it, and then I'm like, you know what, I'll variate the retrieve a little bit and see if I can get him to come out. I've made like 4 or 5 casts in this little area because it looks so good. It doesn't hurt to make more than 1 cast to an area. Maybe learn to variate your retrieve a little bit, maybe you'll get those fish. But as soon as I slowed it down, he decided to hit it. So it tells me something. I'm gonna start slowing my retrieve just a little bit and see if I can't catch these fish. Because we've gone down the bank quite a while since that last fish. Well, not quite a while, maybe 10 minutes. But the thing is I want to catch them a little faster than that. So I'm gonna variate that retrieve and figure out what they're gonna hit on that retrieve. Oh, got him! Came out of that tree right there. Boy, you got to make those casts. Come on! Oh, that's a little bit bigger fish. We came across the lake. Come on. Get over here. Get over here. Gotcha. We came across the lake because it was getting a little busy over on the other side. And I thought, well, you know what? These bass love to hang right out in this thick stuff. And if you can't get a bait in there somehow, whether you're flipping, frogging, buzzbaiting, spinnerbait, whatever you want to throw in there, you got to get it close because they're going to hide right under these brush piles. And you want to be real close to them if you can. This is going to be one of those kind of bites, it looks like to me, that if you're missing it, if you're missing that cast just by a few inches, you may not get the fish. I changed baits up too because the other bait was kind of loud. This one makes more of a whooshing sound. And I'm just barely slowly creeping it over, and I went to black. The water's a little bit dingy. I went to black with a chartreuse tail on it. And I love this bait, another persuader bait. But look at that little blade in blade, and that little blade inside's that whooshing sound that we get. So this blade isn't as loud, but it still creates a little commotion. Oh, there's a good one. Oh, there's a good one. Yes, all right. That little change of that buzzbait, man, right away starts getting them. Look at that. That's a lot better fish than that other one even. There we go. Come on, buddy. You have to do a little experimenting around sometimes to find these fish. Let me get off that tree and ease your way around all the wood. He ate it. It's amazing. We threw the white buzzbait for quite a long time. I just picked this up, and the difference that it makes just in color and in sound. Beautiful bass. We'll let her go. Tore up my little grub tail. I'm going to change that out and get back to it. Make sure that, see what he did to my buzzbait? Bring that thing down there. You know, Persuader makes a bunch of different kinds of buzzbaits. They make some that clack. They make some like this that whoosh. And then they make the double buzz, the single. It's an awesome bait. But what I love about this bait, it comes up really quick. So when you throw it up there, the way the head is designed with that flat bottom like that, it kind of skates right up on top of the water really fast. So you could throw it out there, start reeling, and it's up there. And that's one of the things I love about this buzzbait. It doesn't sink real fast, and it takes a few cranks. I can throw it out there and boom, automatically be up there. But one of the keys to success with throwing a buzzbait is to make sure that you raise your rod tip when you first throw it in there, to help keep the bait up. And then as you're reeling it in, you're dropping your rod tip to keep it just right on the surface. Now the ticket is, a lot of times, especially in water like we're fishing today, it's very important to try to get the slowest roll you can, but keep it on top of the water, okay? So that's what we're trying to do. So it's not like we're trying to buzz that thing across the water as fast as we can. We want to try to reel it just fast enough to keep it right on top of the surface, and then they'll come up and blast it. There's times you can reel it fast and they'll smoke it, but right now it seems like it's the slow roll that's getting it done. So that's something to think about when you're out buzzbaiting. If you're not getting bit, slow your retrieve. Things like that will help you a bunch. Let's put a new grub on that and get back to water. Oh, there he is. There he is right there. Oh no. Oh, I got him. Come on. I just threw right out there. Get in here, little dude. That was a little smaller, but I'll tell you what, making that color change and that bait change really made the difference. Oh, got it right there as soon as it hit the water. I took 2 turns on it. He was right there sitting there waiting on it. That fish was right there sitting there waiting on it. All right, you're in. You know, that's when you know you hit them right on the head. You know, that happens once in a while. You'll throw a bait in there and boom, he'll be right on it. He was probably sitting right under that branch right there. And as soon as I hit the right spot, boy, he was all over it. He just exploded on it as soon as it hit the water. Took 2 turns and boom. Man, I'll tell you, the thing is with doing this kind of fishing, it's, I'm looking for those laydowns and all that stuff, and I'm really trying to make sure I hit that stuff really good. Take my time through, you know. Try to hit as much of the good stuff as you can. These fish, a lot of times in the morning, will sit right up underneath the branches that are the laydowns. And so as we go by the laydowns, we have all this brush like what we see right here and the big trees, things like that. That's great. But anytime you can find one of them branches or those logs that are actually laying down across the water, like it got stuck from the water gushing through or something and pushing the wood up against it, man, a lot of times they're right there, you know. You can almost call your shot. One thing that's really important to remember about this kind of fishing is when you go buy your gear, first and foremost, you cannot throw this bait on a real slow gear ratioed reel. And what I mean by slow, I'm gonna say 4.8 or 5.2 to 1 or something like even 5.6 to 1. You'll be reeling so fast, the gear ratio is just so slow. You need to get a higher gear ratio reel. A lot of guys have gone to 7 and 8. You know, I'm using 6.2 to 1 or something like that, but you can even get, you know, the higher ratios and you're barely creeping it along. As long as you're not working yourself to death, you're good, you know. But if you're constantly having to reel really fast, it's harder to get that good hook set sometimes because you're, you know, when they explode on it. So you want a fast retrieve reel without a doubt, just to help you bring this bait in and keep it on the surface. I'm barely reeling hardly. You can see what I'm doing here. And there's a lot of them I'd really be creeping if I had an 8.2 to 1 or 8.1 to 1 or something like that. But you want a fast retrieve reel. It's very important. Hey folks, for my tip of the week, one thing that's really important to remember, and I see this happen all the time, it's the same mistake time after time with fishermen that are fishing trees. And especially the new guys. It's usually the new guys. If you're learning how to do this stuff, this will keep you from really having a bad day. But we have all these trees we're throwing in. And you know, I'm throwing back in this stuff and trying to get back towards the bank and then bring it through this thick stuff. But here's the deal. A lot of times when you're making your cast, so many people make the cast and feel like they're gonna make the mistake of casting too far or casting over a limb. And right before it gets there, or right about the time it gets there, they start pulling back and the bait actually goes around the limb and just starts wrapping. And you'll either lose your bait, you can't get to it, whatever. When you're fishing this kind of stuff, what you wanna do when you make your cast, I can make the cast, I'll throw over some stuff here, is let the cast just go ahead and go. I knew that was gonna be a mistake cast, but you just let the cast go. And then you see how I'm bringing the bait up? You just bring it up, make sure it's not swinging. You don't want it swinging, just kind of ease it up over that stuff. And it'll come right through there normally. There you go, we bounced it right out of there. But if you throw out there and you go to jerk back, a lot of times it'll just wrap and wrap and wrap around the tree and you'll never get your bait back. You'll be doing that all day in this stuff. So remember when you throw out there, hey, if you made a mistake and you overcasted, let it go. Let it go over and ease it back over. A lot of times this stuff will come out of there real easy. But if you try jerking it out of there, man, you're gonna have a nightmare of a day in these trees. Oh man, a big one hit right there. Yeah. That was a big one. That's the kind of fish we're looking for. That is the kind of fish we're looking for. Come on. I don't know how well I got that fish hooked. Get in here, big boy. Look at that, son. Buzzbait bass fishing. I love it right here at Alamo Lake. There you go. Get out in those trees, slow roll that bait, man, and look what happens. I'll tell you what. What's really cool too is this lake, normally it's low, so it has a lot of wood in it. And we're working an area that has some deep water access to it, you know, where it's a little deeper drop-offs and things, and we're catching them on the outsides in this particular area But we started this morning, caught a couple, and then we left, went across the other side, and I figured, well, we let it rest enough, let's come back. And you can do that when you're doing this kind of fishing a lot of times, because fish swim, they're chasing shad underneath. So you get a whole new batch of fish roaming around through here. And sometimes you can get a couple of big ones like that to come up and clobber your bait. And we fished that piece of wood right there quite a few times, and it seems like every so often I go by there, I catch something off of it. But I'll tell you that they're using this tree line right here, and once they get the shad in here, then they're able to actually, you know, pin them in here and start going after them. Did you see that? Did you see that? Came up and smoked it right there. I can't let that go without trying this. I just can't. I got him. I got him. He came back and hit my flipping stick. Look at that fish. That was the one that just blasted on our buzzbait. I missed him. That's the old 1-2 punch right there, folks. That's the old 1-2 punch. I'll tell you what a ball you can have doing little topwater bass fishing right here. But you always got to have that 1-2 punch ready, right? And that's what we did right here. The old 1-2 punch. Oh, come on. Beautiful bass on a fun lake right here at Lake Alamo, or Alamo Lake. I'll tell you what, I've had a ball. Look at the mouth on that. Unbelievable. Beautiful bass. They're healthy. They're fun to catch. And the best part is it's like post-spawn, so the fish are eating and it's a lot of fun. I'll tell you, Alamo Lake has a lot to offer. You can come camp here, have a lot of fun, and get out early in the morning when it gets so hot. You can go back in and call it a day. We've had a blast on the buzzbaits. Make sure you look up those Persuader buzzbaits. And I promise you, they got a lot to offer in different kinds of baits, but you're gonna catch fish off these baits, I promise you. And get out there and give them a shot. Grab a couple every time you go to the store. Always make sure you got at least 2, you know, in case you lose one, because it never fails. As soon as you start catching fish, you lose the bait and you got to get out and get another one. But that was the key to success today. We tried the white one, and they really weren't busting that one as hard as this one was. So we got a little bit quieter buzzbait, something that looked a little bit more like a bluegill, and caught some fish on it today. And always make sure you have that backup 1-2 punch. In case you miss a fish, you can throw right back in there with your flipping stick or something and catch that fish you just missed. Thanks for joining us on the show. We'll catch you next week. I'm Johnny Johnson.
Now, see, that's what I'm talking about, folks.